Let's knock this motherfucker out of the park!
Hello and welcome back to Fact Me Up channel. In today's video, we're howling with excitement as we sink our teeth into 20 captivating facts about Martin Scorsese's masterpiece The Wolf of Wall Street. So pour yourself a glass of success, kick back, and let's uncover the untamed tales that made this wolfish masterpiece a roaring success. Originally, Martin Scorsese offered Margot Robbie to appear wearing a bathrobe during the seduction scene between her and Leonardo DiCaprio. Robbie refused and insisted on doing the scene fully nude, her first in her career. According to Robbie, the whole point of Naomi is that her body is her only form of currency in this world, therefore she has to be naked. She's laying all her cards on the table. Robbie said she had 3 shots of tequila in succession before shooting the scene to relax because she was very nervous. After shooting was complete, Robbie initially fibbed to her family and friends about actually doing the nude scene in order to delay any personal repercussions, claiming CGI was used to superimpose her head on a body double. She eventually changed her mind and confessed when the film was released. Martin Scorsese claimed that the sequence of Jordan attempting to get in his car while extremely impaired on lemons was improvised on the day of filming, and that it was Leonardo DiCaprio's idea to open the car door with his foot. DiCaprio strained his back during the scene, and was only able to perform the stunt once. Luckily, one shot was all Leo needed. The chest beating and humming performed by Matthew McConaughey was improvised, and is actually a warm-up rite that he performs before acting. When Leonardo DiCaprio saw it while filming, the brief shot of him looking away uneasily from the camera was actually him looking at Martin Scorsese for approval. DiCaprio encouraged them to include it in their scene and later claimed it to set the tone for the rest of the film. The actor snorted crushed B vitamins for scenes that involved cocaine. Jonah Hill claimed that he eventually became sick with bronchitis after so much inhaling and had to be hospitalized. Even though Scorsese requested a meeting with actor Jonah Hill to go over the part of Donny Ossoff, Hill demanded that he audition for the part like the rest of the candidates. He hadn't auditioned for a role in 6 years, but Scorsese was impressed. Hill then took a pay cut to seal the deal and was only paid $60,000, a Screen Actors Guild minimum for films with budgets greater than $2 million. Hill was also so invested in his character portrayal, that when he had a lisp from wearing a set of teeth, he would call businesses for hours on end and talk in order to adapt to his role of Ossoff the Spitfire. During a heated argument between Jordan and Naomi, Jordan keeps reiterating, after which Naomi mimics him sarcastically saying,
Who? What are you, a fucking owl?
This was the precise line Al Pacino's character Vincent Hanna used while interrogating Alan Marciano, played by Hank Azaria in Heat.
Who? Who? Were you a fucking owl?
In an interview with Margot Robbie, she revealed that for the scene where Jordan Belfort and Naomi LaPaglia get intimate for the first time in her apartment, and her dog tries to jump up and bite him, they had trouble getting the dog to jump, so they had to put dog food and chicken livers all over Leonardo DiCaprio's feet and between his toes to film the scene. Hill was dedicated to his craft and wanted to actually eat a real goldfish in the movie. However, animal cruelty laws on film sets prohibited him from doing that. Instead, Hill was only allowed to keep the goldfish in his mouth for 3 seconds under the watchful eyes of animal handlers, and then the fish had to be released. In one of the scenes, Leonardo DiCaprio's character Jordan Belfort and his colleagues are seen tossing a little person at a target in a game of dwarf tossing. The actor who played the little person, Louis G. Lecoin, revealed in an interview that he performed the stunt himself and was filmed in one take. He also praised DiCaprio for his professionalism and kindness on set. Martin Scorsese needed a pickup shot of the Fasten Your Seatbelt blinking sign for the airplane scene but didn't want to waste time and money on setting up a gimbal. Robert Legato, the effects supervisor, took a reference video of one during a flight with his iPhone to show Scorsese. Upon seeing the footage, Scorsese said, "Great, let's just use that." Thus, the film became Scorsese's first to incorporate a footage taken from an iPhone.
clients are already answering the phone. 3, 2, 1, let's...
The word f and its numerous conjugations are said 569 times in the movie, making this the film with the most uses of the word in a mainstream R-rated non-documentary film in the USA, until SwearNet took the record with 935 recorded uses of the word in 2014. Thus, for a brief time, Martin Scorsese had taken back the record that he had held with his 1990 movie Goodfellas, with 300 uses, until Menace to Society surpassed it with 305 uses in 1993. An unexpected person to thank for the film's existence is Tommy Chong, one half of stoner comedy duo Cheech and Chong. Chong was serving a sentence in a Californian prison for selling drug paraphernalia over the internet, and he was cellmates with Jordan Belfort, who was serving a 22-month sentence for stock fraud. Belfort told Chong multiple stories from his days as a stockbroker, and it was upon Chong's encouragement that Belfort wrote his book The Wolf of Wall Street, resulting in the eponymous film. Leonardo DiCaprio explained to Ellen DeGeneres that during the Quaalude sequence, it took them 70 takes just to get the ham to stick to his face. This was eventually achieved by flicking the ham off a spoon and using KY jelly to make it sticky enough. Jordan Belfort coached Leonardo DiCaprio on his behavior, especially instructing him in the various ways he had reacted to the Quaaludes he abused, as well as his dope-induced confrontation with Danny Porrish.
Until their client either buys or fucking dies!
On a routine visit, Steven Spielberg spent a day on the set watching the shoot of the Steve Madden speech. Martin Scorsese claims that Spielberg essentially co-directed the scene, giving advice to actors and suggesting camera angles. Mark Hanna, Belfort's first boss in the stockbroker business and the influence behind Belfort's drug and money abuse portrayed by Matthew McConaughey, was also sentenced to time in prison for fraud. Hanna also reportedly bought 25% of Stratton Oakmont from Belfort, working for him for 2 years. This was not included in the film. According to Martin Scorsese, the scene where Jordan returns home high on Quaaludes to address Donnie, the island in the middle of the kitchen, was originally a hindrance that couldn't be removed since it was filmed in an actual house. He would have preferred it not to have been there originally, but it ended up working well in the scene since Jordan was unable to move properly being so high, and whatever prevented him from getting to Donnie added to the physical humor. The real Jordan Belfort supported the film's depiction of excess. His one objection was the film's implication that Stratton Oakmont never did any serious work. Belfort argued that they couldn't have gotten away with their corrupt practices for so long unless they had been delivering on legitimate business most of the time. Martin Scorsese is famous for encouraging actors to improvise during the filming of his movies. He encouraged the same during the filming of Wolf of Wall Street, where majority of the film's dialogue was improvised. Production was halted for a week after Hurricane Sandy hit New York in late 2012. Martin Scorsese even denied access to his film facility on Manhattan's 57th Street due to the potential hazards posed by a toppled crane near his building. In order to show Jordan's state of mind, director of photography Rodrigo Prieto constantly switched lens types. For scenes where Jordan is in a clear mental state, flat spherical lenses were used, while in sections where he does not, he used anamorphic lenses. Longer focal lenses were used from the stage where Jordan is being pursued by Denham and his team to reflect Belfort's unraveling and the sense of being spied upon.